Okay.
Whew.
Yay.
Howdy.
So nice to see you.
Kisses for the Julie Tootin, the
And
awesome jewelry lady.
back to you, Rudrani. I put out a little note that you were going to be my special guest today, and people were like, oh, I love her.
Really?
So
Now I really feel
feel
special.
the love, feel the love.
Whew. Hey, thank you, people that love me. I love you right back.
So you were just about to say, and I'll let you go for it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been teaching, I have a specialty class that's a creative writing class, listening to the whispers of creative writing.
Cool.
And it seems like every time I teach this class, the people create the class, right?
Mhm.
And the theme this time appeared to be, and now POVADs are a new thing. So that, but it appeared to be people buying this reality as real and true for them. And the example that I was using with them today was, I didn't know I was going to have family visiting for Memorial Day. By the way, you guys, happy Memorial Day for those of you that are in the States celebrating all the things. Happy Grilling Day, which people would kill me for saying. And my dad and both my brothers were all served in the armed forces. So for them as well, kudos. Thank you for your service. So I didn't know I was going to have family visiting me until 3 days ago. And I had scheduled this with Julie. I didn't even know it was Memorial Day. It's one of those things where holiday.
I know, I didn't either. I wasn't paying attention. It's just like, oh, there's a square on the calendar. Let's
right.
add that in.
It's kind of interesting because now Christmas doesn't even show up on my calendar. And I think it's because it's not politically correct anymore for them to automatically assume that you're Christian or Jewish or whatever it is. I don't know all the things. But I remember, and I'm jumping all over the place, my ADD, ADHD is for real today. So sorry, not sorry. I'm on Dane's monthly calls. And I remember him saying, relating, Emily's his girlfriend, by the way, lovely lady, Emily Russell. And he said, I got to where relating to Emily was killing me.
I heard that too.
It freed me up because I realized, and I love my little Italian lady, Celeste Veragona. Yes, I do. Very sweet, 5'5", full of vim and vigor at 89 years of age. She just had her birthday, May 23rd. But I realized that I was making myself wrong because relating to her was killing me. Absolutely killing me. And, so what does that mean? Well,
and like, what are the other options besides relating? Because, that leaves a big gap.
She's my mama. So, it would be a kindness if I could include her in my world. Right. And she's actually quite an amazing lady. She's an entrepreneurial being. She teaches piano, teaches theory, harmony. She does all these recitals. I had to cancel some classes because my brother came down with COVID. So I had to help her with all of that. Happy to do it. All the things. This is the thing about little Celeste. She loves a trauma drama. She loves to worry. She, has this idea that things have to look a certain way or be a certain way. And if they're not her way, oh my goddess, you better get out of her way because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
My way or the highway.
Exactly. And, when I got her in small bouts where she would come stay with me for a couple of weeks, I would cancel everything and it would be all about Celeste, but we live together and it's a very different story. So here I've been making myself wrong because I was not enjoying her choices to be all of that. And, Gary says that we don't have any problems. They're all fabrications, they're all inventions. But try to tell that to an 89-year-old Italian woman who doesn't understand why I don't have a picture of the Pope hanging up. Now I have a lot of symbology for the mother because she kind of represents Mother Earth to me, whatever. But where's Jesus and where's the Pope? Is what she wants to know. So anyway, that kind of saved me. And so I brought that up in the class and it was amazing how much it freed everybody because they were all, wanting to, in this creation, everybody was wanting to write a book. One was a children's book, delightful. All these things come to the surface. But one of the women this morning got shut down by her husband You know that saying they say in Access? I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm almost to the end of the story. She's like, just for me, just for fun, don't tell anyone, right?
Yeah.
She decided to share her creation idea with her husband, who she realized she had never done anything on her own since they've been married.
Mhm.
He's a big helper. He's a sweet guy. I love him to pieces. And anything that she wanted to create, he would co-create for her. And he had a lot of means to be able to help her do a lot of the things when they first got married. And now she has this beautiful business, Mindful Living, and she facilitates people with access and other modalities. And so she tells him her process for the book. And he gets excited for her and he starts telling her what she needs to do. Well, you need a table of content. How many chapters is it going to be? It's going to get it. And the whole point of listening to whispers is there's no form and structure, y'all.
Right.
You're getting whispers, it's already written. The only person that's keeping you from actualizing is, guess what? You. So it was this whole piece about how we feel like we have to relate to this reality.
Mm-hmm.
But what if we could actually be consciousness, which includes everyone and everything and doesn't judge it? Can you, I was like, so can you include what he has to say about the book or how it should be and do it just for me, just for fun, and just don't talk to him about it for a while and all this stuff? It's like, but it's her husband. Like, this is my mama.
Right.
What do you do in situations like that?
It is a tough position to be in, because when you start to expand your awareness and you allow all of that stuff, you're used to cutting off your point of view.
Yes.
And it's not wrong to have your own point of view.
Mm-hmm.
As you're including all these other people's points of view, you can still have yours.
Guess
so
what?
It's like, I like to talk about driving a stick shift, because there's the gas and the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have to work together or you're not going to go. So
Right.
if you're only doing gas, you're not engaging. And if you're only doing clutch, you're not going anywhere. So
True.
it's,
I love that analogy.
Right? How can you like ease into the thing and like use your awareness, your point of view, it's not even really a point of view, but it's like this awareness of a future possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And not block out other people's, but not have that like totally take over and shut you down.
Right. And how does one do that, Julie? How do you do that?
Well, for me, and this is really interesting. It happens a lot in dating. Like if you go on a first date, this is the greatest way for me to explain this.
That like
You
Julie?
go on a first date and you meet the person, they're presenting what they want to present to you. And you're like open and you're looking at it and you're like, okay. And you're focused on them because you. And you're like, I wonder, like, what is this? How are they? Blah, blah, blah. But in that, you're also getting all of their points of view about you. They're attracted to you. They've already gone into the future about you. They've decided all kinds of things. And you might think that that's your point of view about them.
Right.
If you don't like pause, step back, get spacious, have some space for yourself and ask the questions like, okay, is this their point of view about me or my point of view about them?
Is this true for me? No.
So I keep going on these first dates. I'm like, wow, we had a really nice time. And then I go away and it's like, yeah, no. But like that person, I would crush them. Like I'm way too much.
True story. I had a first date that was very, very interesting. And it wasn't recent. It's been a while actually, that he decided we were going to have dinner, which I didn't normally do. I usually just did a coffee thing, but he worked, he lived a little kind of far away from me. And he worked, during the day, like most people with normal jobs. And so we met for dinner. And I remember he stood up when I came in. I said, what a gentleman. He stood up for me. And it was really packed and it was taking a while to get food. So there was a lot of talking. And some people at the next table actually recognized me, which was weird, recognized me from India, from all that stuff. So
Right.
people kind of know who I am in Nashville because of that. That's a really weird thing to be known for. Weird celebrity, let's put it that way. So I was impressed by that. And I could just see him, the cogs moving in his brain.
Yeah.
And he said, he was like, before even the bread came, before even the entree came, he says, I want you to be my person. I'm going to get off the dating sites.
God.
And I was like, I said, well, what is it you're really looking for? And he goes, well, I hadn't been divorced very long. He goes, I've got 2 kids and they're both grown and they're gone. And I said, so you're an empty nester? Yeah. And I work online, and this is before COVID and all this stuff. And he goes, I want to be married again. I went, oh, I said, well, then I'm not going to stay for dessert because that's not my target. I'm actually just looking to have some fun. And he goes, does that mean you're not going to get off the dating sites? I was like, no, but here's my trick. Walls and Berries Den, I expand out and to include him and everybody in the restaurant.
Yes.
And then I know immediately when it's coming out of his mouth because I feel my body either contracting or expanding.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this guy, what? And it was so weird. And we had maybe 3 or 4 dates. And then he just sort of disappeared because of
You
that.
still went on other dates, even knowing that that was what he wanted?
Well, yes, because he was funny. He made me laugh. And I asked the questions, would it be easy? Would it be fun? Would I learn something? And would I be happier afterwards? In fact, I only swipe right if I get those 4 answers.
Okay, but there's another one.
Yeah, I know. Will he make me money?
Yeah.
Oh, is there another one after that one?
Yeah. Well, it's like, will they be grateful? Will I be happier afterward? And will it make me money?
Yeah. And money, you guys, just in case you don't know, just means will they contribute to me? That's basically what it means, because it's the same energy.
Because sometimes they sidetrack you and you get sucked into their,
Yeah.
And so that's not a contribution.
Not at all. But it was really strange. What had happened was I took him to a Christmas party because I knew everybody was going to have a date. And I thought,
well, that works.
Let's see how he interacts. And kind of my hippie friends, we all had to take our shoes off. And there was a chef there, doing all this vegan stuff or whatever. I mean, back in the day, I followed a guru, you guys, and I was vegan and vegetarian for many years of my life. And what did I have before this called? Cheeseburger. Really good cheeseburger. But I took him, and he could also sing and play guitar. And so we ended up all singing and having really kind of a great time. And I thought, well, maybe I could date it. And I took a couple of pictures of him and everything. And that scaring thing, that thing where you're just too much, all of a sudden I noticed he was sort of disappearing. And a friend of mine had just broken up with her guy. So I was showing her how to use one of the dating sites. Lo and behold, the first one that pops up that's available is him. And his featured picture was one that I took at the Christmas party of him playing guitar.
Oh my God.
So I screenshot it and sent it to him. I said, great pic. Because yeah, it is a good pic of me. And I said, well, I'm just thrilled to see that I am now not your person. And then, then it was just radio silence. And I didn't hear from him until like 4 years later when he said, I can't stop thinking about you. I want you to be I love you. You're my person. And yeah, that lasted 1 day. You got to trust your awareness, y'all.
Yeah.
That date wasn't fun. I mean, to have him show me all these screenshots of me over the last 4 years with Facebook, I'm like, oh my God, he's been stalking me nonstop. Are you that memorable person that they can't get out of their head, but they also can't date because you're just too much? This is not the only time something like this has happened, but it is very interesting. And it is that piece about, relating, which is what we started with. I mean, what do you guys perceive relating being? Do you even relate to yourselves? I mean, I don't know who I am. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs half the time. Every day I wake up, I'm like, who am I going to be today? I don't know. I'm just an infinite being pretending to be Rudrani Devi. True story. Whew.
Yeah. It's the character. Like way back in Access, they used to do the CCCRs, that character, costume, what's the other C? And roles. Character,
Oh,
costume,
yeah, it was like a mask thing.
something and roles. And it's like, yeah, this is all a stage.
I'm just presenting myself
And
the way
every
I
day you
perceive,
can
or and
like
you don't even perceive
change
it.
your role.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, it's so funny because I remember somebody telling me at a high school reunion I went to, I don't know, maybe it was my 10th or 15th one. I don't remember exactly, but I remember it being early on. And they said, what I love about you is you're such a chameleon. You can fit in with no matter where you are. Because here I was in a dance company. I played orchestra and band. And I was in, they called it maskers, although we called it mask queers because there was a lot of us queer people. And I don't mean queer the way we talk about queer, or just, you know, when queer actually meant you were different, that were, you know, in this program. And there were a couple of people that were in a couple of different things with me. And they said, you have a tendency to be able to fit in no matter where you are. You're such a chameleon. And I realized later that it's true. And, you know, was I just trying to fit in? Was I just trying to be liked? I'll put it in quotations. Now I don't care
There's
who.
nothing wrong with that, as long as you're aware that that's not really you and that you're
Right.
more than that. Like that's an ability. I remember my husband once said to me, you know, you're a chameleon, and like it was a bad thing.
Huh.
And I was like, wow, that's interesting. You know, why would you why would you put that spin on it? Because
Right.
it's cool. It's like you can handle all situations.
I love that you said that because you're right. I did take it that way. I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I was like, so I'm a chameleon, you know, and I thought of those salamanders or whatever that actually changed to fit into
They're
their
chameleons.
environment. Yeah. But they did it to fit in so they could hide so they didn't get eaten. You know, it had a completely different.
Right.
And so was I trying not to get eaten?
Well, exactly. You know, eaten by whatever, but like that's still an ability.
It's a talent and ability, and I am going to acknowledge.
And they're not making themselves smaller. They're just changing the way they look.
Mm-hmm. True. And I have a lot of looks, y'all.
Right?
Don't believe me, go to my ticket to talk. Girl, I started doing ticketed talk, and all of a sudden this really weird personality jumped out. It's like the very first one I did, I put on my hold on a second, y'all. My happiness is just a choice hat.
Yeah.
And I had it on sideways, and I had my hair braided, and I didn't know what to say. I was like, welcome to my ticketed talk. Hey, what if happiness was just a choice? I wrote a book about it. It's on the Amazon, and I hold up the book. And then I saw it like 4 seconds left, and I just picked up this little, it said, me and my angry beanie baby. And then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to know who the Beanie Baby was. They want to know what hat I was going to wear next. And I got sucked into the world of tickety talk. And I found myself being the craziest, kookiest. And there's so many looks. And that's another comment I got. Sometimes I'd be wearing a fur coat and my pearls. And then the next day I would have my hat on backwards. Or, you know, I don't know. It's just, I never know who I'm going to be. And scares the fuck out of my family. I'll tell you, they think I'm cuckoo.
Cool.
I know. It's like, and it's that whole thing about relating again. I refuse now to cut my arms and legs. Now that I know what that really means,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you're wearing a mask and you're aware that you're wearing a mask because you know that's what they can receive, and sometimes it's a kindness not to freak the people out, because I know a lot of people that just want to freak people out. And you know, why? Is that going to actually create more for you? And then, you know, when my family or a person tries to diminish me, I'm not going to allow that, because I'm actually going to honor myself, however that looks like, you know. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting point of view.
Now, somebody just put a comment. Her point of view is a chameleon means easy to relate to others and one's in environment.
Oh my gosh, I just had a heart swell with that one. Whoever that is, thank you so much for
Cindy.
sending that.
Cindy Lynn. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, you can change your color. It's like the mask isn't real and it's not all of you. You get to be all of you out here. And this is just the filter for other people to relate to you. As long as we don't buy that we are the mask.
Right.
And that's what most of us do is we actually contract and collapse our entire being to become this thing instead of recognizing it's a mask.
Yeah. And what kind of contribution is that, y'all? I mean, I remember doing an interview. I did so many interviews for this book, and I remember being interviewed by this guy in the music industry, because that's my other world. I always have my little, prop microphone, all the things. And I break out in song just about every class I teach. So if I can't randomly break out in song, you probably don't want to take one of my classes. But I just remember, I remember him asking me about something in the book. And I said, the thing is we are all a gift. If we're willing to be ourselves, our true selves, that's a gift, because most people think they're supposed to be something else. And he went into this thing, like I'm a gift to the world and everybody recognize the gift that I be. And I said, well, I get your point. Let me just share something with you. I would much rather have somebody be who they really be in front of me than something they think they either have to be or that they think I want them to be. Because that doesn't work for me. I want somebody to be their authentic self, even if they're being a superior asshole. So sometimes I'm a superior asshole. I'm going to be who what you see is what you get, people. I mean, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be unkind. If I have to pretend something like what you were talking about, I'm not going to buy the story. A lot of times if I just nod and go, oh, that's really cool, or that's very interesting, people think I'm aligning and agreeing with what they're saying. They don't have to know that I don't have the same point of view. And I don't have to let them know that I don't have the same point of view or that I don't have a point of view at all. Because that's the most interesting one. I recently, I'm going to give you an example. I recently got offered a mentorship with a program that's like a Berkeley program for my music. Right when COVID happened in March 2020, I was supposed to do a set of my original music and drop an album, whatever that means. And as you guys know, things like that did not happen. And I kind of lost I lost my whole rhythm section, that's the backbeat, of your stuff. But I had started following this guy, and they do this vetting thing where you get interviewed by different people. And I got really busy with Access. And so I never took the last step. And this last time they reached out to me, they said, listen, we think you're really talented and we want to mentor you in writing. And I was like doing the last interview and giving them all the reasons why they don't want to pick me. And that made them go, okay, you know what? We know it's an 8-month program, because it's not about the money for me. All it was about, I don't like to do anything half-ass, and I get bored.
Yep.
So it's all these different programs. And so I was talking to the guy and I said, listen, unless I could bring my producer in, I don't want to do this on my own, because he does all the parts I don't like doing. I like the part about creating, and I let him go in there and put in the back beats and all the things. And so I get an email from them saying, listen, we really like you. How about you try it out for a month and you can bring in your guy? Well, my guy hadn't talked to me in a long time, because his wife decided that Access was a cult and that he shouldn't be associated with me. So just like that, I lost my best writing partner I'd ever had thus far. And so I just reached out to him and I said, listen, can we put the past behind us? COVID has really showed me a lot of things, and let's not make it about politics or anything else, because she had a lot of political points of view also. And she wanted to pull me in, and I was like, what? I'm interested in your husband to write music. I'm not interested in conspiracy theories and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So we've had 2 conversations, and, and I told him, I said, listen, she has every right to think I belong to a cult. I mean, by definition, a cult is anywhere where 2 people in a line agree with something. Technically speaking, if you look it up in the dictionary, that's what it means. And I said, she has every right to believe what she believes. And I have every right to believe what I believe. And I said, and since COVID, I don't really believe much of anything anymore. So if you want to do this, let's go there. And so we're having another conversation tomorrow. And it's that space where I was willing to say, hey, you know, I really like working with you. I know we're really different. I know your wife really hates me. That's the word. And I said, I love she hates me because I'm just gonna make more money. Anytime anybody has a judgment somehow, I don't know, check comes in the mail or something random. You know, you're a part of this thing, and so here's $3,000. Oh, okay, thank you. What could show you guys? You guys could actually be willing to be who you be, regardless of what this reality impels upon you, and not make it significant. Even family.
Yep.
That's my 2 cents.
Well, there you go. And now we're at the top of the hour. So,
oh my goddess, are we done?
How does it get better than that?
How does it? Just a choice, y'all. Just a choice. We're in complete allowance whether you want to choose it or not. I want to know more about your dating. So maybe when we're done with the live.
Yeah, you know, we should probably do an episode on the Red Lipstick Diaries, my other podcast.
That would be fun.
Yeah, and we can do it on dating.
You guys be interested in that? And then I'll have you on the Choosing Happiness podcast as well. Because I had the Get Happy podcast, and now I'm creating the Choosing Happiness podcast.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, cool. And that other one is on like Spotify and podcast platforms. This is just simply a fun thing on Facebook. So
I love it. I love you. I miss you.
I love you too. And it's been so much fun. This was a COVID creation as well. And it's just been so much fun to have conversations with people all over the world and meet new people. And, you know, all kinds of cool stuff comes out of it. So
absolutely. I got the
super grateful.
Me too. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah. And I'm going to jump over to Finding Your Sparkle, my other group, and do an expanding exercise. So everybody come join me over there. And I will talk to you soon.
Ciao, ciao for now.
Bye.